Critical Failure has had a wild 2025. We covered everything from petty TikTok dramas to actual killers. But just because you cover a story doesn't mean you end it. Stories keep on going. Time is a flat circle and nothing ever seems to end, even when it probably should. And don't worry, babes. As long as there's tea brewing, I will always be here to serve it. In more ways than one. Today, we're going to be doing a retrospective, a look back at every single one of the dramas we covered in 2025. We're going to look if there's any updates, and if there are, I am going to share them with you. We have everything from Lily Orchard's continuous D&D crash out, to leaked Just a Robot calls, to Saige Ryan going to court. We've got response videos to my videos, death threats sent to my email. It's going to get wild, guys. This is our biggest episode yet, and I cannot wait to share it all with you. So, without further ado, one last time for 2025, what the hell happened?
Because you know what I get to move on to? I get to move on to being homeless and begging my wife to accept my forgiveness and a bunch of other shit that is really stressing me out.
I just wish people would understand that and not hate on me so much. Like it's just unbelievable. Like how much of it, like how much I've lost, like they've completely taken out the algorithm.
And I chased my dreams to the two-faced Sodom that is LA. I was driven out by criminals and bloodsuckers.
This woman is lying. This woman is such a pathological fucking liar. Fuck this bitch.
Let's go.
Okay, let's start off with Freckled Hobo. TLDR on her, she was once a really big D&D and cosplay TikToker with over 1 million followers. She had an original character named Opal, and if you're a fan of Critical Role, the biggest D&D streaming show, you might recognize the name Opal. It's a character that appeared on that show as well. Now, instead of just taking the similarity as a cool thing, Freckled Hobo decided to threaten legal action against Critical Role, allegedly asking them for a guest spot on the show.
I have been in contact with Critical Role, or more, their legal team, and unfortunately the conversations did not go even remotely according to plan. In fact, they were pretty hostile. And at the end of this conversation, I felt bullied and belittled.
Yeah, Critical Role, as well as the entire internet, laughed her out of the room, and that seemed to be the end of the story. But Freckled Hobo has continued to post on TikTok. She rebranded her account to something else. I'm not going to tell you. She's not doing this anymore, so I think we should all leave her alone. But she seems to just be focusing on her fantasy and cosplay stuff, even if she doesn't talk specifically about Dungeons and Dragons much anymore. Wonder why. Her cosplay content has started to include AI-generated slop, though, which, yeah, it's great. We really need more of that on the internet. But in terms of how she actually responded to my video, I couldn't find anything until I found this comment. The YouTube documentary about your past is amazing. That seems just like a comment from someone who saw my video and they recommended and watched it, and that's it, right? But there was a response from Freckled Hobo herself. She said exactly what you would expect. That documentary is filled with misinformation. It's made by a bully, blah, 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 blah. You know the drill. But unfortunately, that comment is now gone. Now, if you've been paying attention to Critical Failure, you know you shouldn't trust me with this, okay? I have nothing but my word to tell you that this comment existed at some point. Hell, I don't even know if I can trust my word. Maybe I dreamed it, but in either case, the comment is gone now, and even though some people bring up my video in their comments, which you shouldn't do, by the way, but still, even if some people bring it up, she's never responding, and any responses she does leave, they're deleted now. It looks like she has thoroughly moved on from this situation, and that is definitively for the best, because I think it was just embarrassing for everyone involved. However, with all this being said, there is some good news on the horizon, because Freckled Hobo just announced that she's having a baby?
I'm just gonna go and say it. I am pregnant.
Congratulations to her, of course, but you're going to want to pin this little part of the story because A problematic TikToker we cover on this channel quitting the business and then having a baby. It's not the last time it's gonna happen in this video. Okay, next up, James Raggi. TLDR on James Raggi. James is the publisher behind Lamentations of the Flame Princess and the adventure Blood in the Chocolate. Blood in the Chocolate won some awards at the Ennies during the convention Gen Con. This sounds all well and good until you crack open Blood in the Chocolate and actually read what's within. Blood in the Chocolate is an NSFW fetish book based on Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, filled with inflation and blatant racism. It's fun stuff, and I decided to cover it on my show. Now, you might have noticed there that I said James Raggi is the publisher behind this adventure and this game system, not the author. That wording is very specific because, yeah, he didn't write this. Someone else did. The actual author of Blood in the Chocolate had a road to Damascus moment. They publicly denounced James Raggi, his game, and the book. They returned the award to the Ennies, and the moment the licensing rights reverted back to them, the author took the book out of sale. You cannot buy it anymore, and no one can profit off of it. I mean, yeah, in terms of making amends, that is farther than most people go in their entire lives for much worse actions. Very impressive stuff. Now, with all that being said, the publisher behind this book, he was not happy about any of these events, and in his very long response to my video, he made that exceptionally clear.
Some stupid fetus with a channel 30 times bigger than mine is dredging up a 7-plus-year-old issue with a video with over 32,000 views as of right now.
Do not ask why he decided to make a response video half naked.
Shirts off? Haven't showered in 3 days?
I couldn't tell you. He actually made multiple response videos. This first one, of course, naturally, is filled with him declaring that he stands by all the content in Blood in the Chocolate, which, who could have predicted that? Now, to be fair, I could not have predicted that he would call Blood in the Chocolate an incredibly woke adventure, which, like, bro, I don't know, this just might be me, but I don't think blatant racism falls within those pesky leftist values. But again, just could be a me thing. But the most fascinating part of James's many responses is this more indirect response where James is quote-unquote educated about racism. Now, of course, the timing of this podcast covering racism might be a complete coincidence, but given that it's in the middle of his massive crash out over Blood in the Chocolate, I doubt it. But the context of the podcast, they're actually not important at all. I don't care about that. What's important is who's hosting the podcast with James. That is Zach Smith, aka Zach Sabbath. He was once a very influential figure in the TTRPG writing community. He even had a consultation credit on the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide. But nowadays, half his wiki page looks like this. Yeah. Zach is allegedly not a great guy. He at this point has been exiled from the entire industry. He is physically banned from going to Gen Con, the biggest tabletop convention in the world. And at this point, no one likes the guy. Other than James. James is like the Wallace to his Gromit. James has been in Zach's corner from the beginning, but when Zach was getting called out for, you know, all that, James put out a very sarcastic and very passive-aggressive post basically complaining about everything that happened with Zach Smith and denouncing Zach in the post. Yeah, no one really believed that, especially given the tone of what James decided to write. But here we see just how pathetic and hollow that denouncement was, because here Zach is collaborating with James and educating him on racism. Yeah, this is the kind of guy you want educating you on real-world issues. Of course. After this podcast, James has continued to upload to his YouTube channel sporadically to a rapidly dwindling audience. Blood in the Chocolate, Lamentations of the Flame Princess. Most people who play any kind of tabletop game have no idea what these properties are. And at this point, most people who hear about them now hear about them from videos like mine. James has uploaded some interesting things, though, including this video where he threatens to touch 2 kids.
Yeah, these kids are fucking begging to be molested. Jesus fucking Christ.
It's always the people that you suspect the most. Most recently, he put up a video denouncing the current state of the internet and claiming that he's against what current social media does to us. And you know what? He's not entirely wrong about that. Now, of course, this message would probably ring a lot truer if he actually took a step back from the internet and didn't upload 6 more videos in the aftermath. The latest of those videos, by the way, is him just begging people to review his books that no one cares about. Great job, James. Okay, TLDR. Jeremy, which is not his real name, it's a pseudonym that I gave him because he's so flippant with his personal information that I felt bad for the guy. But anyway, Jeremy is an obscure YouTuber on the more conservative end of D&D YouTube, and he developed an incredibly unhealthy obsession with Orion Akaba, the famous problem player from Critical Role. Orion was kicked out of the show years ago, and most people who watch the show now have no idea who he is. But James remembered, and he was very upset about what Critical Role did to Orion. James dedicated himself to making sure that Orion was returned to the Critical Role table. He plainly hated the cast, hated the show. He was very clear about the fact that he had never actually watched Critical Role before. He just thought that a problem player returning to the biggest table in America would solve the problem of oppressed American men.
You can't say that his wife, Marisha Ray, is a shit. You can't say that Travis Willingham is a shit. You can't say that his lovely wife, Laura Bailey, is a shit.
It was weird, but it actually got really concerning when he started doing things like blaming Matt Mercer for the hypothetical death of Orion Akaba. It was wild.
Hey, today is my day to do nothing for Orion. I wonder if today is the day he will find his dumpster and freeze to death in the night, because I don't want to deal with hearing anyone else asking me to bring him to the table.
Now, after my first video about Jeremy, yeah, I made 2, Matt Mercer actually reached out and we did a little interview, and this event broke Jeremy. It broke him. Now, Jeremy believes that Matt Mercer reached out to me and talked to me just about Jeremy.
Another YouTuber with a 100K sub button just interviewed Matthew Mercer. And he explained that the reason he interviewed him was Matthew Mercer contacted him to talk to him about my Orion Akaba point. There you go.
Now, this might come as a shock, but no, Matt Mercer did not reach out to me just about the Jeremy video. Just in general, Matt watches my stuff. He reached out because Matt Mercer, ladies and gentlemen. No, seriously though, Matt Mercer reached out just to compliment my channel and my cosplays in general, and I offered to bring him onto the show. He didn't beg me to talk about Jeremy. But maybe it's for the best that Jeremy has this delusion, because it shattered all his fantasies about Orion Akaba. Matt Mercer coming on my show forced Jeremy to reckon with the fact that Matt Mercer doesn't care about Orion anymore, at least in terms of Critical Role, and Jeremy gave up on his quest.
And I was wrong. I really believed that I could change the world, that I could change the mind of Matthew Mercer, and that there could be this redemption arc for Orion Akaba to return. I was wrong. I failed. I was not able to do that. And that does make me sad, and I am very disappointed.
He would go on to delete every single one of his Orion Akaba videos and move on with his life. Publicly, I was good to move on with my life too, but behind the scenes, there was some stuff that you were unaware about. You see, Jeremy actually sent this email to my agent. I did a series of videos on Orion Akaba, and I recently watched the 2 videos you did of me discussing Orion Akaba's exit from Critical Role. I think I understand what upset you about my series of videos. I have removed all the Orion Akaba videos from my channel. Would you please take down the 2 videos you made of my coverage of Orion Akaba? It would personally help me considerably. Thank you. Jeremy then proceeded to give me his full legal name and his personal phone number? Dude. What is with idiots on the internet and oversharing? It just goes hand in hand. But no, Jeremy, I am not going to be taking down my videos about Orion Akaba and you. I think they're fun. But nowadays, Jeremy's moved on. No longer is he ranting about Critical Role disliking Orion Akaba. Now he's moved on to ranting about Critical Role disliking Donald Trump.
Campaign 4 is an overly complicated lore dump that is complaining about Donald Trump and religion. Hey.
Okay, buddy. It's great to see that he's still doing well. Where do I even start with this bitch? Lily Orchard, TLDR, if you can even say that phrase in relation to her, is one of the internet's most famous lol cows. Lily started in the early days of the Brony community and originally rose to infamy as the author of Stockholm, a My Little Pony fanfiction that contained...
Child, adult, domestic, and murder.
Yeah, it's certainly something. After that, she would rebrand herself multiple times, including a rebrand to becoming the worst media critic on the internet. Like, seriously, she has some stiff competition, but Lily Orchard has become famous for just being so gleefully and proudly unaware of the world around her and of the media that she claims to critique.
Low stakes, interpersonal conflict will always be more satisfying in the long run than high stakes saving the world. Friends is more popular than your favorite anime for a reason. What are you talking about, Lily?
Her Steven Universe, Legend of Korra, and Pokemon videos are all particularly hated in those respective communities. Every community that Lily Orchard tries to join now rejects her in her entirety, and watching her jump from fandom to fandom in an attempt to find a new home has been hilarious. But the part of the story where I come in is when she decided to jump into the Dungeons and Dragons and Baldur's Gate community. Wanna know why? Well, it's because she is a big fan of Baldur's Gates 1 and 2. You see, in those games, your main character has a little sister named Imoen, and Lily Orchard mods the game so she can bang her.
It's genuinely touching just how much of this story is about these two friends cherishing each other, especially given how during Shadows of Alm we learn that Imoen is a ball spawn. They aren't just friends, they're sisters.
She even made an entire video about why this little sister romance is the greatest romance in gaming history. You know, the things people will just admit on their public YouTube channels. Now, where the story gets good is Baldur's Gate 3. You see, Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't have any little sister, nor any little sister romance mods. So Lily Orchard really hates Baldur's Gate 3 and made a couple videos about it.
Baldur's Gate has lived on in spin-off games, tabletop modules, and even attempts at reviving the series, and they all range from terrible to literally murdering the concept of culture.
I responded to her video about Baldur's Gate 3 romance. It did very well, and Lily responded to that, normally. Whenever I see someone use the term pick me in regards to women who disagree with them on trivial topics, my first thought is always, okay, so mommy breastfed you into puberty, didn't she? But it's the mouth-breathing Zoomers so desperate for tea to stave off hanging themselves. But could these YouTubers at least take a shower once in a while? Now, Lily Orchard fantasizing about my death is hilarious enough. However, the really good part of this is that she thinks she can lecture me on bathing. Lily, you look like this. But anyway, Lily Orchard, after my video, developed an obsession with Baldur's Gate 3 that is definitely coincidental. She, in fact, had such a bad hate boner for Baldur's Gate 3 that it was affecting her marriage.
Okay, so, over the last few days, I found myself ranting to my wife about where BG3 fails as like a Baldur's Gate game, or even just as a game in general. And I've been doing it so often, it's like, I've got to just fucking do this goddamn video and get it out of my goddamn system. Yeah.
I really, personally don't think that's the kind of story that you want to just, tell to the public, but, to each their own. Lily, in response to this problem in her marriage, has decided to get her anger out by creating a video to definitively prove that Baldur's Gate 3 is a failure of a game. She will finally play through the game in its entirety for the first time, which brings into question how she talked about the game before she did that, but anyway, she will finally play the game and finally prove how horrible it is. The issue is she decided to play the game on live stream, where you can see her playing, and it is... Guys, it's good stuff.
Not as bad as it could have.
That is so ass backwards. Honey, I hate to break it to you, most of D&D's rule set his ass backwards.
I decided to make a second video about Lily Orchard in response to her god-awful Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, and really, this whole situation has exposed how insecure Lily is about her gaming life.
I'd like to see I'd like to see any Dark Souls player do this.
Now, with the allegations that she has, frankly, being bad at video games is like the least of her concerns, but that's what makes it so fascinating to me, because she is obsessed with proving to people that she is this pro gamer. You see, when you actually watch her play Baldur's Gate, she's terrible. She's awful at the video game. She mods the game to make it easier on herself. She regularly changes the difficulty to easy mode, gives herself infinite long rest, gives herself infinite short rest. She always has max resources, but still, she will go to her Tumblr, go to her Blue Sky, and call everyone who plays Baldur's Gate 3 a casual. So say Baldur's Gate 3 is way too easy of a game.
Yeah, the difficulty in PG3 comes down to the fact that in order to counter something, you have to react to it. It's not even just the fact that combat is often grueling in this game. It's the fact that they pit you up against like 30 or 40 enemies. So even if the combat was easy, it would still suck.
There it goes.
You have to remember something very important. Larian hates fun.
It's even worse because she's posted her own D&D homebrew. And her homebrew for D&D 5th edition, a game that uses the D20, her homebrew uses percentages. If you know anything about game design, you should be well aware of how wildly impractical that is. But of course, it makes sense she'd use percentages. She plays video games, not tabletop games. And in video games, percentages make sense because the computer will do the math for you. Yeah, Lily Orchard's never played these games before, but she's still obsessed with painting herself as this pro gamer who's better than anyone. She went so far as to play Silk Song on stream, a famously pretty hard video game, to prove how great she is. And that went...
Bruh. One thing I've always said that Souls games like really need to start getting their fucking heads around.
If you're wondering what Lily Orchard is up to now, she is posting to a rapidly failing YouTube channel and a rapidly declining subscriber base on Patreon. She's also opened up a new Tumblr after being banned multiple times. We'll see how long this one lasts. And on this new Tumblr, she says things like, "You're racist if you don't support the Saudi Arabian monarchy." Okay. This video is sponsored by Thorum, the creators of incredible, handcrafted wedding bands, rings, and watches. This gorgeous Artemis ring may be the fanciest accessory I own. Now, did I ask for the Artemis because I have an unhealthy one-sided obsession with the goddess in question? No. But still, Thorum were happy to send it to me, and oh my goodness, it is magnificent. Thorum also put their customers first at every turn. There's a reason why they have over 10,000 five-star reviews. They have free worldwide shipping. They have a lifetime warranty for all their products. And every single one of their rings is distinctive, handmade, and unquestionably gorgeous. So whether you need an anniversary ring, a wedding band, or just a new watch, head over to thorum.com and use code CRISPY20 for 20% off your purchase. That is THORUM.com, code CRISPY20. Thank you so much to Thorum for sponsoring this week's episodes. As always, supporting our sponsors does support us. And without further ado, back to the tea. Okay, we're not taking a break from the crazy with this one. Local Scriptman, aka Hartwell. Local used to be a fairly prolific writing YouTuber. He had a loyal subscriber base, and he put out really solid videos with great writing advice. But things changed after he moved to LA. You see, in LA, something happened, and he came back a very different man. He dressed differently, talked differently, and suddenly was very pro-AI.
I will not coddle you with lies. AI is going to take your job. And the only way to stop this from happening is to stop thinking of it as a job.
A lot of his fan base are writers. They are some form of artist, and they hate AI, reasonably so. So those same people were very quick to denounce these points that he was making. But after this weird AI crash out video, it only got weirder. He made weird rant videos about James Gunn's new Superman movie. He talked about Star Wars Episode 10, Revenge of the Jedi, concerning live streams, disturbing videos. His channel was devolving down the drain. There were two theories that I shared in my video about this. One, this is satire. It's some kind of elaborate bit. Or two, something went down in LA and he is spiraling.
What am I doing, huh? I'm out here crip walking in front of the hell is real sign.
I genuinely hoped it was one because I don't want anyone to be going through a mental health crisis, especially publicly on the internet. There was some hope that it was option one. A fellow writing YouTuber named Schnee actually visited local scriptman, now renamed Hartwell, and they seemed to get along. Schnee said he was doing well, and Hartwell posted a couple normal writing videos on his channel, though if you look now, you can't see them amidst all the slop. You see, Hartwell has this concerning habit of deleting a lot of content as soon as it goes up, and that means cataloging this information is a pain. But one video that's still on his channel as of recording this is a video of him pleading for help.
Basically, I had a mental episode, and I racked up a bunch of debt. It's very easy to spend $15,000. You wouldn't believe it. It's like...
Hartwell had hit a mental low, according to his account. He had been put into a mental hospital, and this was the lowest point he'd ever been in his life. He needed his fan base, their help, to rebuild after a really bad mental health episode. And I completely empathize with that. This is a horrible thing that he's apparently going through. And when he asked for $15,000, a lot of people were willing to give, and he actually met the goal. But unfortunately, I can't end this on a happy ending because Hartwell kept on uploading, and the videos have actually continued to devolve even further. He's begging record labels to sign him, ranting about Samuel L. Jackson and his future Star Wars Episode 10 script that's going to revive the franchise.
Back when I lived in LA, I wrote a little movie called Star Wars Episode 10, Revenge of the Jedi. This is not a fan film. This is the real deal. This is the solution to all of the losses that Star Wars has been taking.
He's posted more rap music, which I listened to, and you're gonna listen to it too now.
I'm tired of this shit. Eyes on the prize, cause I'm wired for this shit.
I have no idea. I hope this is satire. It looks like satire from the outside. It still does. But if this is real, if this is a genuine episode, I really hope any friends on YouTube, any friends in real life, any of his family, someone please reach out to this kid and tell him to get off the internet. I can't imagine this is doing him any favors. Okay, we're taking a break from the absolute insanity to move into boring insanity, corpo insanity. Evil Genius Games are a small publisher in the TTRPG world that had some very successful Kickstarters, and we're definitely growing a presence in the space, but that presence evaporated because their CEO Dave Scott had an unhealthy obsession with Web3, NFTs, and Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. This guy was really weird, and his weird decision-making led to the company draining money quickly. They end up laying off a huge portion of their staff, and the future of their entire brand was left up in the air. After my video went out, I thankfully did not receive any legal threats. Other critics of this company are not so fortunate. The author behind this article on N-World claimed they received a vague copy pasta legal threat from Evil Genius Games' quote-unquote lawyer, but when he actually reached out to check if this copy pasta from the internet is actually a real threat, Dave Scott, the CEO, said no, to which I say, pussy. But as for me, I'm all good. Dave Scott's continued to double down on the NFT and Web3 talk, thinking he's going to take tabletop games in the future.
Scenario where you could actually buy NFT utilities that are exclusive to these licenses. You could actually pilot Gypsy Danger. You can carry Rambo's M60. All of these that have value that can be bought, sold, and traded.
And honestly, he might, not with the Web3 stuff, but with a licensing deal. He has signed a deal with Return of the Living Dead, a cult classic zombie property, and now his company has the rights to make games for them. They actually did a Kickstarter for this property a while back, and it was fairly successful. This is what caught the eye of Return of the Living Dead. Evil Genius Games has nailed the tone, energy, and irreverent spirit that made Return of the Living Dead a cult classic, said CEO of the Living Dead Media. We're thrilled to partner with them to bring this franchise back from the grave for a new generation of players. That Kickstarter was fairly successful, but not successful enough for an entire company. But now that they've laid off everyone, in a twisted turn of fate, they don't need to pay an entire company, do they? This might be the way they claw their way back to relevance, though with Dave Scott's continued obsession with NFTs, I'm not hopeful. Okay, Milo Winter. Don't worry, this is going in a somewhat wholesome direction. Milo Winter, formerly known by the pen name Audra Winter, is the author of The Age of Scorpius, a young adult novel that was advertised on TikTok. It went viral and the book got thousands of pre-orders, but when it went into the hands of customers, people realized that it was bad. It was really, really bad.
Avia followed me in, her voice carrying through the hallway like an echo chamber, loud, distinctive, and most importantly, my sister's voice. What?
Milo Winter did not take the criticism well. He did everything from blaming neurodivergence for the book's writing choices, blaming critics, blaming the editors, and even went as far as to claim that he was self-harming in response to the criticism.
I actually had to go back to Kansas because I was becoming so unhealthy. I wasn't eating, and quite honestly, I'm still not. I had to go back to my parents because they were concerned about me. Everybody else was concerned about me because everybody in my personal circle knows that this is like everything to me.
Shockingly, this made the criticism actually way, way fiercer. I was one of those critics. I called out how he was weaponizing mental health against his audience, and after that video, there were so many updates, I actually had to make a second full episode of Critical Failure in order to cover them. Milo got a whole new gender, he fled the country to Finland of all places, and even wrote a high school level essay where he compared his personal suffering to global warming. It was a lot, and since then, Milo hasn't done much. To be fair, my video was only like a couple of weeks ago as of recording this, so there hasn't been much time for updates. On his TikTok, he's posted a couple snarky videos where he makes fun of his own writing, and I love self-awareness, but it seems like a little too late to take this approach after everything that's happened. It feels kind of manipulative, if anything.
When I spell my own fictional language wrong.
Oh, do you need a glossary?
It doesn't help when the glossary is wrong.
Oh, okay, that's, yeah.
But what's interesting about this is the person he's making these videos with. The person he's making these videos with isn't an editor, they're an artist on the project. See, a big thing that made Age of Scorpius such a failure is that Milo spent all his money commissioning artists to essentially make fan art for his OCs, and this is one of those people. Not the editor. Milo claimed that he had hired a new editor to work on the project, but a lot of people had the pet theory that Milo was the editor, that he was just cosplaying as his own editor, Milo in a different hat. I was not entirely buying into that theory. It seems really crazy. I mean, moonlighting as your own editor, that's wild. But given that Milo has not shown the editor in any capacity, and given that he's editing the book on camera with someone who is not that person, I'm starting to think that maybe there's some accuracy to that statement. The biggest update to the Milo Winter story, though, has nothing to do with Milo, is everything to do with me. You see, I reached out to a fellow YouTuber who was covering this drama named Meredith Navaco, and we compared notes on some stuff that Milo said behind the scenes. I realized through checking out her Instagram that we live like 20 minutes away from each other, so I asked her to dinner, we went out, talked for hours, exchanged phone numbers, and bada bing, bada boom, now we're friends! Maybe the real Age of Scorpius was the friends we made along the way. That was the wholesome part. Now we're back in the drama. TLDR, Saige Ryan used to be a prominent member of Smosh. She also dated Damien Haas, who was a mainstay on the channel. Eventually, Saige Ryan would leave Smosh, and then she and Damien would break up. No one really thought anything of this. It sucks, but people leave companies. People break up. It happens. It's normal. But behind the scenes, there was a lot going on that was anything but normal. You see, Saige Ryan was allegedly a serial cheater, cheating on Damien Haas and then Omar Najam, and now being with Carlos Luna, the last two of which are part of Dropout Studios, another big YouTube brand based out of LA. Saige Ryan also used her position in the tabletop industry to spread rumors about people of color, most notably B. Dave Walters, who she froze out of Wizards of the Coast. He used to be a fairly prominent actual play dungeon master for the company, and now you don't see him around there anymore thanks to Saige Ryan's actions.
I can't tell everybody stories, but I can tell you she cheated on Damien Haas with Omar. She cheated on Omar with Carlos. Inevitably, when he's no longer of use, she'll discard him too. The number one thing I want you to take from this, if you are a person of color, you are not safe around Saige Ryan. You are never safe around Saige Ryan.
She also allegedly weaponized the legal system against Omar Najam, once again, one of her ex-partners that she cheated with. She claimed that Omar Najam was some kind of alleged criminal, that he was being arrested, and none of this was, allegedly, according to Omar's partner, true. Now, of course, that didn't stop Saige from leaking all this information to Jordan Brown, a TikTok reporter that covers the company that Omar works at. Jordan Brown put out the information to a lot of outrage, especially after Serena, Omar's partner, went out of her way to debunk it. It was a messy situation. I didn't even cover all of it. Now, after my video, B. Dave Walters, one of the victims of Saige, reached out to tell me that he was really grateful for me making the video and that he had watched it with Omar and Serena, which is really cool. As for actual updates, they actually did go to court. Omar's pre-trial for all of Saige's allegations happened shortly after my video. Omar allegedly was never arrested or anything, but he still had to appear in court, and I'm very hopeful that everything works out on the side of justice, no matter who prevails. I have heard allegations that most of Saige's claims fall outside of the statute of limitations and thus would be thrown out anyway, but I don't have any definitive facts about any of this, and all this is behind-the-scenes information shared to me by people who would rather stay anonymous, which, if you've been paying attention to Critical Failure this whole time, you know you should take with a massive, massive grain of salt, if not disbelieve in its entirety. Now, Saige has not been talking at all on the internet in the aftermath of this entire controversy. She has completely left her Blue Sky account. Her YouTube channel, Pixel Circus, has been dead for months now, and it's uncertain if she's ever going to come back. It's probably for the best that she stay away, though. The tabletop industry seems just a tad safer now. Now, there is a big update here. It doesn't have to do with Saige. It has to do with Jordan Brown, that TikTok reporter. You see, he also took his leave from TikTok in the aftermath of this whole controversy and my video, and he actually did return recently to say that he and his wife had a baby. I told you it would happen again.
Day 4, about a month ago, my wife gave birth to our second son. We named him Kent. We are hoping he is as super as his namesake. Kent is doing great. He's got some nice chubby cheeks on him. Parker is a great big brother, very helpful, very kind, very thoughtful.
Now, that's adorable, and I'm really happy for the guy, but I will note that he named the kids Parker and Kent after, you know, Superman and Spider-Man. But why didn't he name them Peter and Clark? Those are the actual first names. Isn't naming them Parker and Kent like the Cho Chang of white people? Anyway, it's cute. I don't really care. I'm happy for the guy, and I'm hoping him the best. I hope that he takes the time and focuses on his family and doesn't focus on dumb TikTok crap because, he wasn't exactly helpful the last time. Okay, so next up is Just a Robot. Just a Robot was a fairly prominent anti-woke slop tuber, but he threw everything away when he, out of nowhere, decided to defend a member of the art commentary community, Cinnabear. If you don't know who that is, well, you can't look her up on YouTube because her channel's gone. She was exposed as an alleged child predator.
I'm 14 years old, turning 15 next month, and I was having inappropriate conversations with the YouTuber Cinnabear03, as you can probably tell.
Oh my god, yeah. Cinnabear was not a great person, and Just a Robot decided to make her whole situation way worse when he decided to defend her, which was an uphill battle for him, considering she already had admitted to many of the allegations taking place.
Cinny is a coomer, a gooner, but not a groomer. Grooming requires intent and a desire to get with someone. Cinny did neither.
Just a Robot did not win that battle, and the entire internet took some time out of their day to make fun of him, especially after the DMs between him and Cinnabar were leaked. It was revealed that he had a weird one-sided flirtationship with her, even going as far as to beg her to help him fall asleep by talking to him as he dozed off.
Oh my god, no, it's getting worse. Let's find out. I just need someone to chat with as I drift off to sleep. You can say no. Okay. He is 100% cooked now. That is, bro.
This whole thing was just embarrassing, and it actually got even crappier for Jar when more people came out with more allegations against him. Most notably, other women in the art commentary community space who said that he had been stalking them at Gen Con and went so far as to chase them around the convention floor because he was so desperate to have someone to talk to.
Update, we are still avoiding that creator.
Just made eye contact with him. We're not succeeding.
This is why you run. This is why you run away.
We walked right past him.
You like the guy with
the Captain America shirt?
Oh boy. Now, given that Just a Robot can't hold down a job, the only thing he's got is YouTube. So he went on a crusade to revive his YouTube career. The first major attempt is something that actually happened before my video on Just a Robot, but I didn't cover it in depth. It's a call between him and another YouTuber named Boblax. If you don't know who that is, I don't either, and it doesn't really matter. He's another YouTuber who had a dumb controversy and was canceled. Who cares? Just a Robot calls this guy out of nowhere, and they proceed to have the worst conversation of all time.
Did you hear about the dream I had about you?
No.
So I had this dream where I think we jumped into a call together and I said, the difference between you and me is you suffer from autism. I enjoy every minute of it.
Look, guys, I was victimized by this call. I listened to the whole thing. And now you're going to experience my pain too.
Sure. We're the same race. We're both white. Us whiteys gotta stick together. Okay, just pretend to be the poachers and say that you have screenshots of me talking to the 13-year-old girl.
No, I'm not gonna roleplay.
Oh, okay, I'll just do it. We're the same, man. We're both Spurgs, so like, unlike everybody else, like I can actually like talk to you like a normal person.
Now, if you're wondering how, why would anyone endure such a cringe-inducing and awkward one-sided conversation? Well, on Bo Black's end, it's because he's super high. On Just a Robot's end, it's because he wants Bo Black's to help him revive his YouTube channel like this.
Would you like me to do stuff on your channel at all?
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
Me neither. This is a stupid idea. I don't know why I suggested it.
You gotta keep in mind, I'm not like listening to these as I'm sitting here on set. I'm just like thinking of them while I'm talking. And even just thinking of Just a Robot on the verge of tears going, yeah, me neither.
So good.
Okay, so anyway, that call happened, and Just a Robot is the one who recorded it. You see, Bo Black clearly does not want to do this podcast with him, so Just a Robot decided, I'm going to secretly record this conversation and pretend like this is the podcast, which, yeah, that's a great move, Jar. But Bo Black actually uploaded the unedited version of the conversation before Just a Robot could, which he was not happy about. But look, as Just a Robot says in that call, he's not really doing well on the YouTube end.
What's up?
Not my sub count, that's for sure. I think it's the same for you.
To put it in perspective, like how bad this all is, I made my video about Just a Robot months ago. It's still getting views, but it's definitely not my most prominent content right now. However, despite that, my video on Just a Robot gets double the views of all 3 of his channels combined. That's how bad things are for Just a Robot. My single video is performing better than his entire portfolio of work. Now, you might have noticed that I said 3 channels, because yes, Just a Robot made a brand new YouTube channel in an attempt to revive his career once more.
Other people have told me that I should just keep grinding on this channel. I've been trying to do that. I'm stuck. Once you're getting 1% of views of your sub count, it's pretty much best to start over. It's easier to get into the algorithm if you start a new channel.
He claimed that he had been totally taken out of the algorithm, and this is his shot at redemption. And it's going badly. The channel is just re-uploads and new episodes of the anti-woke slop he was doing before. He's talking about fresh and new topics like Velma and Star Wars The Last Jedi. Fresh, brand new topics, never before seen. Really, no wonder this channel is doing god-awful. And again, to put in perspective how god-awful it's doing, YouTube won't even let this guy monetize this channel because it doesn't have enough subscribers, and I assume it doesn't have enough watch time. Just a Robot is dead in the water in terms of income. It might be time for him to shut his mouth with those sexual jokes and get a real job. Put the fries in the bag, bro.
I've actually lost jobs because of this, making jokes like this. Sometimes, and after a while, I started avoiding female coworkers, and then I started avoiding coworkers altogether because I was just like, "What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong?"
But you see, despite the plain fact that Just a Robot is one of the biggest failures in YouTube history, he still is trying to claim that he doesn't care, you know? When haters come down in the comments, he's the tough guy. He tells them that he still exists just to annoy them, that he's never leaving YouTube behind, that he once got thousands upon thousands of views. It doesn't matter what kind of views he gets now, no one can hurt him. Just a Robot is invincible. But this display of fake masculinity from Jar in the comment sections of his dead YouTube videos can't stop the fact that there's one more leaked call. You see, Just a Robot has no friends, so he has no one to talk to about all of his problems. He got so desperate to talk to someone that he jumped into a Discord call with a bunch of random tea streamers who, by the way, all hate him. They are all exploiting him for content and recording him without his consent, and he knows that, but he's so desperate to talk to someone that he sits there and trauma dumps. And guys, wanna be victimized by Just a Robot one more time?
I just wish people would understand that and not hate on me so much. Like it's just unbelievable. Like how much I've lost. I've been completely taken out of the algorithm. I've got kicked from like almost every Discord group I've been in. Like every time I search my name up, I can't even find my channel. It's just a lot. And I was like, I was dumbfounded because I was like, I think I'm getting canceled harder than Cinny.
Aww. Pathetic. Oh boy. TLDR, Sandy Petersen was a major developer on Call of Cthulhu and the original Doom games. He was known as a gaming grandpa, and while he had tendency to misremember some of his own feats of game design, he was still fairly respected until he started his own gaming company, that is. Petersen Games had some very successful Kickstarter projects, but as the years crept on, they kept on not fulfilling those projects. Thousands of customers begging them to send the stuff that they bought, and Petersen Games just wouldn't. They face a lot of production problems, especially during the pandemic, and there are now multiple Kickstarters left unfulfilled to the tune of millions of dollars. Petersen's reputation went down the drain. It didn't help that on Twitter, he showed himself to be another anti-woke slop merchant. Yay, we need more of those in the world. After my video, Petersen did not respond at all. His Kickstarters are still mostly unfulfilled with the exception of Hyperspace, which did send out, but many backers were really upset about the quality.
For 300 something bucks, which is a lot of money for a board game. And what I got was, maybe $30 worth of cardboard and standees.
This was supposed to be a high-quality 3D printed minigame, and instead, people got cheap cardboard cutouts. Many customers were very, very unhappy because this is not what was promised. This was not what was bought for hundreds of dollars in some cases. There have been talks of expansions to Hyperspace, though with the current state of Petersen Games, it's unlikely. The funniest part of this whole fulfillment, though, is actually that you can see that Petersen Games just stuck their logo with a sticker over the logo of the actual developer who manufactured these games, Quimbly's. The reason they awkwardly stuck that logo on is because the partnership between Petersen Games and Quimbly's fell through badly to the point of legal threats.
Underneath here is the actual company that made the game. Petersen Games, after we waited 5 or 6 years for this, took the time to go through its stickers and put their company brand logo on this, even though it was actually made by another company that bailed them out. They just put a sticker over the top of it. And they were supposed to they went bankrupt making everything in the United States, but this game was made in China.
He's been on a couple more anti-woke gaming podcasts ranting about women and minorities and...
That's the first thing you learn in Marxist theory, is that everything is political, all art is political, therefore all games is political, therefore if your game is not pushing your political thing...
Blah, 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 blah. But his biggest feat so far has been his appearance as the guest of honor at VengerCon. This is an extremely small, passionate convention dedicated to the immersive wonder that is fantasy role-playing games, a place where hardcore adherents can play their time-honored trade and avant-garde innovators may experiment freely with this wide-open medium. VengerCon is extremely proud and excited to announce this year's guest of honor will be none other than Sandy Petersen, creator of the Call of Cthulhu RPG, among his many other contributions to our hobby. Sounds fine, but what's VengerCon, you may be asking? Well, VengerCon is a convention named in the honor of Wenger Satanis, an anti-abortion, anti-gay activist, pro-anti-asshole who spends all his time threatening to curse people on RPG forums. Like curse with magic. He believes he has magic powers. The guy he's a really weird dude. And I guess Petersen decided that this is the man that I have to collab with. I think Petersen should be more focused on figuring out how to ship all those games that he promised to his thousands of customers, but I guess it's very woke to deliver the product that you promised. Alright. Final one for the road, ladies and gentlemen. Arcadum. Arcadum's drama went down years ago, but I did a retrospective look back on it and checked out some of his activities in 2025. TLDR, he was once one of the biggest voices in the D&D Twitch space, playing with some of the biggest streamers of all time. But it all fell apart when it was revealed that he was sexually harassing many of his collaborators.
Naomi, Kelly, Cree, Momo, Red, Summer, Falcona, Uzu, Lyra, Remy, Jade, Chica, Kinoya, Ashley, Stir, Crystal, Spatula, Nano, and
a bunch of streamers, each with their own audiences, came out with detailed receipts, video evidence. Someone even caught him live on camera saying some of the creepiest stuff you've ever heard. Some of the cringiest stuff, too.
That's also why I don't play Among Us.
He was laughed off the internet due to his nonsense and even lost, allegedly, a 7-figure deal from his agency, which is,
We were on track to make $1 million with this influencer. We were doing a JV for a book deal, a Netflix deal, a ton of stuff. And then that person abused 15 women at once.
Arcadum could have had everything, but he couldn't stop being a creep towards VTubers, I guess. But he decided to continue his career as I outlined in my video. Since then, nothing much has happened. He's continued to try and develop his game Prism, which I pay attention to, and let me tell you, his game design is just awful. This guy is a dungeon master, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's a good game designer. And his own custom system, which failed horrendously on Kickstarter, has not seen any improvement since then. Most recently, he was developing some of the weapon systems, and it's just over-bloated with so many different weapons with no actual depth to them. Game design is not done out of desire, it's done out of necessity. You add things to your system that you need to add. That's not how Arcadum works, though. He's a big old weapons nerd, so he's gonna put in all these historical weapons because that's what he thinks is cool. But addition doesn't necessarily equal depth. None of these weapons actually have any intrinsic bonuses or in-depth mechanics to play with. They're just there on the surface level. He's not game designing. He's making a bunch of flowcharts of stuff that he likes, and that is not going to equal an interesting game. But of course, even if Arcadum was making the greatest game system of all time, I would still absolutely dissuade you from buying anything that he creates, given that, he's still the biggest creep on the internet. But yeah, that is the final episode of Critical Failure, at least until mid-January. We will be returning for Season 2, but I will be taking a break from uploading for a little bit. I got one last video for 2025 where we'll do a retrospective on the year, but for now, I just want to say thank you all so much for supporting me. Your love has been overwhelming, truly. We had 100,000 subscribers this year. So many new members of our community came in. Our videos have been doing better than ever. I am so looking forward to what the future holds, and I couldn't do it without you guys. So, salamat. Thank you all so much. In any case, if you guys enjoy and want to see more episodes, then you can check out the full playlist for Critical Failure and Critical Failure side quests. It's linked up in the cards. But before you go, please do let me know if you were loyal to the tavern by leaving the comment, "I am the drama," to let me know you made it to the end of the video. But you should also leave a like on this one and subscribe to Crispy's Tavern so you don't miss any of our content when it comes out. And finally, if you want to support us directly, you can head over to our Patreon or buy our merch, stuff like that. That's what makes these videos possible. In essence, like, comment, subscribe, support. I'll see you all next time. Farewell. Jeremy, that is not entirely true. Matt Mercer did watch my video about you, but the real reason... Oh my god, I forgot my fan. Give me a second. I'll be back.